Gambia's immigration department recently held a training for its officers on diplomatic and protocol practices. Mexican authorities expressed concern over the high influx of illegal guns into the South American country. And the local authorities in China support vulnerable groups in the provincial areas to uplift their status. Well, this and more coming ahead in this week. Many thanks for joining us. This is Eyeafrica TV, and let's now look at the news in detail. Now, the Gambia Immigration Department has recently concluded a week-long training of 50 immigration officers on diplomatic, equity, and protocol practices. Now, 20 senior officers were trained on document security, and 30 were trained on the detection of fraudulent documents. The training is aimed at preparing the workforce with the skill, capabilities, and competence needed for a sustainable future. Mafuji Sise reports.
Ambassador Ibrahim Usman Dur, head of diplomatic etiquette and protocol consulting, said the batch is the 10th group to be trained on diplomacy, etiquette, and protocol consultant and has been the best among. He encouraged the trained officers to always ensure implementing their various rules responsibly.
The course informs on how one should practice on a daily basis at both the national and international level. These protocols would be linked to history, royalty, culture, and religion. The courses have been designed for professionals who require competency or wish to learn the skills necessary to be up. The police, armed forces
can be put in the position to find what is needed to be known.
Here I challenge my colleagues that whatever has been taught to you during this week, please go back to your respective duty stations and ensure that what we call mentoring on the job or on the job training, you share the knowledge that you acquire or accrue during this period from these very eminent personalities. Not every immigration officer is opportune to undergo this training. The maiden one targets senior officers. And let me say this on record here today. Henceforth, officers that will go out to serve as liaison officers for GID in our various embassies, as well as our bilaterals that we have with our European partners and elsewhere, will certainly come from the 10th cohort of this training.
Ibrahim Jawara is one of the participants who delivered the vote of thanks on behalf of the group.
But this training has really helped all of us to throw those stress out. I want to sincerely thank the Director General for them also to continue in the future also this type of training, especially people who are not privileged to attend this training. I sincerely want to thank the training school also for their openness and their willing in terms of the way they approach us and the way they assist us. Anytime we need anything, they come to our aid. Without wasting much ado, I want to thank all of you. Thank you.
The objective of the course is to introduce the participants to the ceremonial aspects of protocols, procedures, behavior, etiquette, rules on society, and respect for the order of precedence, dress code, customer care, and quality management. According to the GID, the training has been carefully selected and identified due to its relevance to the operations of the Immigration Department. For Eyeafrica News, I am Mafuji Sise.
And from the report there by Mafuji Sise, moving on, Mexico, unlike the United States, has strongly down gun control measures that help authorities to properly manage gun businesses in the South American country. The Mexican Army controls the country's only legal gun business center, where citizens go through a rigorous process before acquiring a gun. However, the increasing number of illegal guns smuggled from the U.S. to Mexico has left authorities worried about the situation. He has more details of that in this report.
As the US struggles in its approach to gun control, America's neighbour to the south is coping with its own firearm problem. Mexico allows its citizens the right to bear arms, but there's only one place in the whole country that sells guns legally, and it's run by the military. Here in Mexico, this government-operated store, which is forbidden to advertise its existence, is the only place where you can legally purchase a gun. Alejandro Celorio is the principal legal advisor to Mexico's foreign ministry.
We have very strict laws for an individual, a private citizen, to possess and carry a gun is very difficult. They need to go through a very strict procedure. And even if they get that license, the firepower, the caliber that they can acquire is very small.
Despite these strict laws, guns are rife in Mexico. Mexico blames the US and estimates 500,000 firearms are trafficked illegally from the US each year.
The military kind weapons that we see that criminals are bearing in Mexico are not sold in this store.
Indeed, the Mexican government says between 70 and 90% of illegal firearms found at crime scenes in Mexico can be traced to the US. Arturo Ortiz is a director of a Mexican company that trains special forces in combating organized crime.
It's very easy in this country to attain a firearm on the black market. And organised crime here has both the economic resources and the contacts to acquire whatever type of caliber they want.
The government legal advisor says he sees a direct link between America's easy gun access and the ongoing migration crisis.
People complain about the irregular flows of migrants going towards the United States or transiting through Mexico, but the majority of them are escaping contexts of violence that is generated by the same firearms that are trafficked illicitly from the United States. So in a way, there's a close connection between the availability of firearms, crimes, displacement, and irregular flows going north.
As US gun policy may contribute to tragedies at home, its effects are felt far further abroad.
Coming back home, President Adama Barrow has received the Secretary General of the Organization of Islamic Conference, OIC, Mr. Hussein Ibrahim Taha, at the State House on Friday. The Chadian diplomat is on a visit to discuss Gambia's preparation to host the OIC summit and to also visit OIC facility site under construction. Moses Imendi has the details in this report.
Construction of the OIC project components is in high gear as the Gambia continues to race against time to host the forthcoming summit. The summit, which is scheduled to take place later this year, is expected to deliver a massive upgrade on the infrastructural landscape of the Gambia. OIC Secretary General Mr. Hussein Ibrahim Taha landed in the country on Friday and proceeded to discuss a range of issues with the President and the OIC project stakeholders. During the indoor meeting, he assured that the OIC member states are cooperative and supportive of the Gambia's candidature to host the large gathering of world Islamic leaders.
En tant que secrétaire général de l'OCI, vous ne pouvez pas imaginer que je puisse venir ici en Gambie sans parler de la question du sommet de l'OCI.
As OIC Secretary General, you cannot imagine that I come to Gambia without speaking about the Rohingya issue.
Je suis venu donc confirmer le soutien de toute l'organisation à son Excellence Monsieur le Président Barrow.
I come to lend my support for the organization to His Excellency the President Barrow.
C'est une évidence, toute l'Afrique, tous les pays de toutes les parties soutiennent la candidature de la Gambie pour préparer ce grand sommet.
It's obvious all the member states are supporting Gambia's candidature to prepare this summit.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you.
The meeting was centered on the ongoing works and nature of the project components, as well as efforts made by the country to host the summit. Mr. Tana is also scheduled to embark on a site visit to the project components under construction for this summit. Preparations for the development projects has progressed to the implementation stage. The VVIP ulterior modern launch is 45% complete and the Sir Dawda Kairaba Jawara Conference Center is complete. Significant progress has been also registered in the Battle Harding Road project after the base and the sub-base were laid, while public service utilities are being relocated on the other hand. With operations in full swing, the government remains optimistic to host the forthcoming summit later in the year. However, quite a number of Gambians are unconvinced, with speculation suggesting that it is impossible to complete construction of the project components within the remaining time frame. To them, hosting the OIC summit will be a miraculous achievement considering the short duration remaining until the summit kickstart. Moses Mendy, Eyeafrica News.
This is Eyeafrica TV and you are watching this week's news edition live from our studios in Banjul, and from the report there by Moses Mendy. We now take a break and come back shortly. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Welcome back. Once again, you're watching this week's news edition, and many thanks for joining us. Now, the Gambia Maritime Agency, in partnership with stakeholders, on May 21st, embarked on a beach cleansing exercise along coastal lines in the Greater Banjul areas to Combo South. The National Environment Agency, the Brikama Area Council, Growing Green Communities, Gambia Ozone Heroes, and Gambia Environment Alliance, among others agencies, also participated in the exercise. Now, the Gambia Maritime Agency urged all assembly to collectively do the exercise on a quarterly basis. Here's more details of that in this report.
Mustafa Kuyate, an assistant marine surveyor, said the project has 5 plans to see what and where to improve, since their mandate is to lead in caring for the coastal area. Most of the people in Bakau coastal areas dump their household refuges in their backyard, and this waste end up in beaches, making the environment more untidy than anywhere. Aminata Jawara is the representative of Bakau New Town Fajara Development. She said her organization engaged in the coastal cleansing for past 5 years and hopes to continue. She stressed that people should understand that keeping the coastal environment is a very serious issue. Alfuseni Minteng is the beach coordinator at Lebatu Beach Hotel, working with Green Up Gambia. He said the objective of the coastal cleansing is to have a healthy environment for both humans and species in the ozone. Hassan Dao, a representative of the Beach Bar Association at Joyoto Beach, Bijilo, explained his organization had been continuously cleansing the coastal area until the Gambia Maritime Agency sponsored the May 21st, 2021 exercise. He said the coastal cleansing should be national as it's mirrored down to human and species life. Mohamed Hydra, the Secretary General of the Gambia Environmental Alliance, said the cleansing exercise is the first quarterly exercise organized by the Gambia Maritime Agency to maintain the waste pollution along the maritime environment. The dangers of plastic are enormous. It kills marine organisms and also affects the navigation of vessels and the record, so that there are more pollutants materials than any other materials. Second, organic materials, but the metal are not very common. The Gambia earlier put an end to the usage and selling of plastic, but yet the tiny country is yet to eradicate its continuous use. The Gambia Maritime have just concluded the beach cleansing exercise within the Greater Banjul area and the Combo South. The aim of this cleansing exercise is to clean all the coastal beach areas. It is a norm or a tradition that most of the materials that are dumped at the beach sites is plastic, and the dangers of plastic is enormous. It can kill marine lives, and as well it can also disrupt the navigation of the vessels. For Eyeafrica News, I am Mafuji Sise.
Thank you, Mafuji. Great initiative there. It's always good to make our environment clean. Finally, in a bid to improve the well-being of citizens, the Chinese government has been extending support to vulnerable communities to enhance their activities. Now, as featured in this report, one of the beneficiaries has explained his transition to a much improved life after benefiting from the government support. Now, after living in appalling conditions for many years, residents of the Xinjiang desert village are now enjoying a better life thanks to the intervention of the local authorities. Here's more details of that in this report.
I have more than 120 sheep. I joined a sheep breeding cooperative in my new village. The government has offered me 200 hectares of pasture and an annual $1,200 as allowance. But when I lived in old Dariaboy village, I only had about 40 sheep and my house was not well built.
The old Daliabi village this 27-year-old man talks about is located in Xinjiang's Taklamakan Desert. The natural conditions there are harsh, and there is a severe shortage of food and drinking water. Daman gave us a ride to his house in the old Daliabi village. And after a 4-hour thrilling drive in the desert, we finally arrived at his former house.
We are nearly in the middle of the desert. The people of Daliabi lived here for hundreds of years before moving to the new village. And they lived in the houses that were made from poplars, reeds, and mud from the only river nearby. And a piece of poplar wood could be used as a door.
The kitchen is small, and Daman and his family made their food on the ground. In summer, they slept on the floor in this bigger room by using blankets as cushions. In winter, they moved to interior rooms. Daman lived in shabby houses for 22 years, and it took him 2 hours to get to school on foot in the desert when he was young. Everything began to change in 2015 when poverty alleviation efforts began. The local government started building a new village for residents of Daliabi, and people moved there after a few years.
Our people moved to this new village in 3 stages from 2015 to 2019. There were about 1,300 people in total. The government provided them with new houses for free. Now children's education is free, and the water is clean. We also have a clinic. People mainly breed sheep and grow herbs. The per capita income of the village in 2021 was $1,800.
Daman opened a store in a new village and runs it with his mom.
When I was in the old village, I made money by breeding sheep and searching for herbs. But now I have my store and sheep cooperative, and I don't have to search for herbs because we plant it in a village. My income now can be $9,000 a year, but it was only about $1,500 in the old village.
Between 2015 and 2020, 8,000 people in Yutian County moved to their new houses. Xinjiang ended extreme poverty at the end of 2020. The head of the Daliabi says they aim to develop tourism to enhance people's livelihood in the next few years.
Well, as the saying goes, no condition is permanent. And from the reporter in China, we eventually bring this news edition to an end. But for more details on this and other stories, you can visit on our website on Eyeafrica.tv. But for now, many thanks for the privilege of your company. Thanks for watching and do have a pleasant night. Bye for now.